Do's and don'ts of traveling Hawaii. After graduating college, how would you like to take off and travel the world? Going places only some people dream about visiting once they're able to retire. How about visiting a place where on average the number of tourists who visit is 6 times more the amount of people who live in the state? According to the United States Census Bureau, July 1st of 2016, 1.4 million people lived in the state of Hawaii. Business Pacific News reporter Lauren Gill states 2015 brought in 8.6 million visitors to 8 main islands that made up the state. When traveling, one should always make sure to have travel plans set up, proper clothing packed, and tons of ideas to do while on vacation. Packing is one of the most difficult things you can do when going on vacation. According to USA Today's Travel Tips, written by Lauren D., when going on vacation, one should always pack light. For some people, that may be hard depending on where they are staying. When I was in Hawaii, my family was lucky enough to have a washer and a dryer in our room, which meant for the 7 days that I was there, I only packed 3 outfits. The humidity level is really high. Because it's so high, Lauren D. recommends packing a sundress for women and shorts and a t-shirt for men. I was on the island of Maui. While I was there, the most dressed up I would say any woman was in a sundress, and man in shorts and a t-shirt. When worrying about shoes, it's pretty simple what one should pack. This goes for both men and women. 1 pair of tennis shoes and a pair of flip-flops for the beach. Though USA Today's Travel Tips did not mention this in their article, I found that bringing a makeup bag and a straightener was a waste of space in my suitcase. Because I was in the water so much, I couldn't wear my makeup anyways, and it gave me some pretty good beach hair, so I either wore it like that or put it up in a braid, which most people would do. Lastly, make sure to bring a camera. With beautiful scenery, you're never going to want to miss that perfect sunset. That also means making sure and seeing what the hotel has to offer for you before you pack your stuff. That way you don't pack anything that you don't need. This also means making sure travel plans are set up. The College of Business Administration at the University of South Carolina published a revised article that allows readers to know if they should or should not use a travel agent. Though they do not specifically say which is better, they let the traveler know that if they're traveling a farther distance away, that they should use a travel agent because it may be more helpful. U.S. News wrote an article, When to Use a Travel Agent, that may help a reader decide if they should use a travel agent. Personally, to book a trip for Hawaii, I would use a travel agent, and that is exactly what my family did, as we used All About Travel based out of Sioux Falls. According to U.S. News, using a travel agent may help one receive flight and hotel packages, which, in good news, can reduce the price significantly when buying hotel and airplane tickets. When traveling, my tip is to make sure that everything is planned and ready to go. Using a travel agent will help with plane tickets, hotels affair, and may even help with rental cars, but they do not help with planning activities. Being a destination spot, I recommend booking your snorkeling trip, scuba diving, or surf lesson, anything that involves signing up and paying for, before you leave home. That way, it ensures that you're able to do all the crazy fun things you would like to do while being there. Along on that line, there are many things to do in Hawaii. Being an island where the amount of tourists is 6 times the amount of people living there, there's always stuff for you to do. For starters, a must for me was snorkeling and swimming in a waterfall. The experience of both was absolutely amazing. With snorkeling, depending on who you book with, you get to go up and swim right next to some pretty cool fish and turtles. Along with swimming in a waterfall, though it's kind of cold and it's not what you expect on TV, it is definitely a bucket list choice that you should do. Another thing while I did there was go to a luau at the Old Lahaina Resort. If you want to try some traditional Hawaiian food, a luau is definitely a must. Maui is a small island, so many things you do, you have to travel to a different town for, but one city has a bit of a twist to it. The Road to Hana. The Road to Hana is a road full of twists and turns, mostly up in the forest and mountain area of the island. The speed limit is only 15 miles an hour because of all the twists and turns. If you're someone who gets car sick easily, I recommend sitting in the front seat, driving, or just not going at all. Also, if one is wanting to make sure to check all your mile marker stops, that is definitely a good idea before you go, as there are so many mile markers to look at. Also, make sure you stop and check what exits you need to go at before you start the road, because once you start going, a couple miles into it, you will lose service, and you won't get it until the end of your journey. Although it is only 64 miles from Hanuakai and Kaanapali, which was the resort I stayed at, it took 2 hours to get to Hana. My favorite things to do while on vacation is try different foods from that culture. One thing I highly recommend is the Paella Fish Market in Lahaina. They have a variety of food types for all types of people. If you don't like seafood, they have burgers. My favorite thing was the seafood pasta or the blackened ono. The island of Maui in Hawaii is a beautiful place that I believe everybody should see at least once in their lifetime. Seeing the world fresh from college may give people a new perspective on the meaning of life. It also may give them a chance to live in a new city they never would have thought about. Sharing my adventure with people is something I love to do. It opens them up to new ideas and even they might get to see the world with their own eyes. Always make sure when traveling though you have travel plans set up and ready to go, proper clothing packed, and tons of ideas to do while on vacation. You may never know when you're going to get bored.